Hello, it's BotChief editor. This video is about how to complete captcha verification with actions in BotChief editor. We can see captcha verification especially when doing login or registration. We have 3 actions here for captcha: 2 for manual captcha verification, 1 for automatic. Actions for manual captcha verification are captcha and new captcha. Captcha action is for common captcha verification. New captcha is for Google captcha or captcha which needs user to drag and click. Action for automatic captcha verification is a plugin provided by service providers. It's to captcha. Now I start with the first action, captcha. How to complete captcha verification with this action? Switch to a website. The action settings contain 2 parts. The first part is to select image. I select a control. The second part is to select an input box to enter the captcha. If I'm going to complete dynamic captcha, if I check this box, this action will save dynamic captcha. This is the time it takes to get a screenshot. This is the interval time of each screenshot. This action will combine multiple screenshots into a dynamic picture and show it when I need to complete the captcha manually. This is timeout. And this is retry times if there is something wrong. I save the settings and test run it. When the module runs till this action, this window will pop up and you should input the captcha manually. The captcha was finished. For retry times, that is, if I want to skip this, if I click OK, the window will pop up again. The second action, new captcha. Captcha type, click type or drag type. If I select click type, I can check to set if the picture changes after being selected or not. Now I switch to a website with Google captcha. Now I select a control. It's the pop-up box with many squares after ticking this box. I can use that control in variable if I want to save that control to variable. Save settings. If I want to run this action, I should add a click operation action before it. That is, to tick that box first, and then to judge the location of the image to be dealt with. Some users may ask why I didn't finish this manually. Actually, I can do this manually. I once mentioned an action, show variable. If I add a show variable action after control operate action before captcha action, when the module runs till control operate action, there will be a pop-up window which reminds you to deal with captcha. After I finish this, I can close the pop-up window so that program can continue running. For captcha and new captcha action, if I run a few debug windows to deal with captcha. Then I minimize these debug windows. If I add show variable action, I still need to manually find out the debug window to deal with one by one. But if I add a captcha with new captcha action, there will be a pop-up window where I need to finish captcha verification. After I finish this, program will return verification result to specified place in corresponding debug window. Next, I will talk about toCaptcha. This action can deal with common captcha and Google captcha verification. Here is called reCAPTCHA. Here to select solve reCAPTCHA. These are parameters needed. Now I need to add some variables to store values needed through variable management. Now I select variables that contain the corresponding values. This is the API key of toCaptcha. Site key. Each web page with reCAPTCHA will have a unique site key. Now I'm going to find this site key. Click Attribute in the document. Select reCAPTCHA. Here I find iframe tag. Content that starts with number 6 after the equal sign and ends with character I before the first and sign is the site key. This is the URL of this web page. After the reCAPTCHA is solved by others remotely, there will be a return result. Now I need to add a new variable to save the result. These are descriptions of parameters. Save the settings. I should add variables including values needed by parameters proxy and proxy type. And select corresponding variables for them. Now I can save the settings. toCaptcha action can't deal with captcha alone, and I need to add another action, setValue, as the return value will be input into a web control in current page. Now I insert setValue action. The result will be input into a web control whose ID is response and tag is text area. I can find that web control, but it's invisible in the page. Here I select inner HTML, which means the return result will be input in inner HTML property of that control. Now save the settings. So, 2 actions needed to deal with reCAPTCHA. When toCAPTCHA action starts to run, it will deal with captcha automatically and then save the result to a property of a web control. And here before toCAPTCHA action, I don't need to tick this box. Another function of toCAPTCHA to deal with common captcha. Here it's called text captcha. These are parameters needed, but here is a file path. This is path for text captcha image. 4 actions to deal with text captcha. I add a getImage action. It can save the control saved in control variable to a local file in the form of image. I add a find control action to find the control where the text captcha is and save the control to a control variable. I add a new control variable. And then save the control to a local path in the form of image. I add a new variable. Of course, I need to set the accurate location as the image path. After that, toCAPTCHA will get the image from the path and deal with it automatically. Select variables for parameters. It will also return a result, and you just need to input the result in this box. That's all for captcha verification. Thank you.